The story of St. Raymund Nonnatus.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Long ago, in the year 1204, in the rugged land of Catalonia, Spain, a child was born under extraordinary circumstances. His mother tragically died during childbirth, and to save the baby, he was delivered by an unusual procedure, cut from his mother's womb. Because of this, he was given the name Nonatus, meaning not born in the usual way. From the very start, Raymond's life was a miracle, and many believed God had marked him for a special purpose. As he grew, Raymond showed signs of deep faith and devotion. Instead of chasing after wealth, comfort, or fame, he found his joy in prayer, silence, and serving others. People noticed that he was different, not because he sought attention, but because he carried within him a calmness and a heart full of love for God. Yet his path would not be easy. His life's calling would bring him face to face with suffering, sacrifice, and courage that few could imagine. From an early age, Raymond felt a deep connection to God that shaped everything he did. He often escaped to quiet places, like fields or small chapels, where he would spend hours in prayer. While other young men of his age were drawn to excitement and ambition, Raymond was content in the stillness. Eventually, he joined the Mercedarian Order, a group of men dedicated to a unique mission: rescuing Christians who were enslaved by pirates or captured during conflicts. At the time, many believers were taken far from home, forced into slavery, and treated with cruelty. The Mercedarians risked their lives and wealth to bring them back to freedom. This mission spoke directly to Raymond's heart. He longed to free those who were suffering and remind them of God's love. Through training, discipline, and deep prayer, Raymond became known for his compassion. He was not a warrior with a sword, but a warrior of faith, ready to lay down his own life so that others could be free. As a Mercedarian, Raymond traveled across dangerous seas to North Africa, where many Christian captives were held. His presence brought hope to those imprisoned, and he worked tirelessly to secure their release. Sometimes this meant paying ransom. Other times, it meant offering himself as a hostage in exchange for others' freedom. This was perhaps the most radical part of his mission. He willingly put his life on the line so that another could go free. When his money ran out to ransom more prisoners, Raymond did not turn back. He gave himself over so that others could taste liberty. His faith was not just words, it was action, lived with courage and selflessness. While in captivity, Raymond continued to serve. He prayed with the prisoners, comforted the sick, and even shared the message of Christ with his captors. His captors, however, grew angry that he spoke so openly of his faith. In a cruel act, they padlocked his lips shut, piercing his face with metal so that he could no longer preach. Yet even in silence, his witness spoke louder than any words. His suffering became a sermon, showing the world the depth of his love for God and humanity. Raymond's bravery and sacrifice became known far and wide. Eventually, he was ransomed and returned home, scarred by his suffering but shining with holiness. Those who met him saw a man who had given everything: his freedom, his comfort, even his voice, for the sake of others. His life did not continue for long, however. Weakened by his sacrifices, Raymond's health declined. In 1240, at just 36 years old, he died, leaving behind a legacy of courage, compassion, and faith. Despite his short life, his impact was immense. The Church recognized him as a saint, honoring him as a protector of captives, expectant mothers, and those facing difficult trials. The image of Saint Raymond, often shown with a lock on his lips, became a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest testimony comes not from words, but from love and sacrifice lived out in action. Saint Raymond's story is not just about the past. It is a lesson for today. His life reminds us that true greatness is not found in wealth, power, or popularity, but in the courage to give of ourselves for others. He showed that holiness is not about escaping the world, but about diving into its brokenness and bringing light where there is darkness. He teaches us that freedom is not only about chains on the body, but about the freedom of the soul, freedom to love, to forgive, and to live with purpose. In every act of mercy, in every sacrifice made for the good of another, we too follow the path that Saint Raymond walked. The story of Saint Raymund Nonnatus calls us to reflect on our own lives. Where are we being asked to sacrifice for others? How can we bring hope to those who feel trapped, lonely, or forgotten? His courage reminds us that even when our voices are silenced, love still speaks louder than anything else. And so, like Saint Raymond, we are invited to trust in God's plan, to serve others with courage, and to let our lives become a living testimony of God's mercy. For in the end, the greatest legacy we can leave behind is not the things we own or the titles we carry, but the love we have given away.